Welcome back, class. Hope everybody's been enjoying their past week, had a good weekend, all that good stuff. Does anybody have any outstanding questions from Daniel chapter 6 before we start Daniel chapter 7? No?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, then, without further ado, turn with me to Daniel chapter 7, and we'll see how far we can get today.
We're going to finish the whole first 3 verses.
That's right. You got that right, buddy. All right. Daniel chapter 7. It starts off. And the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Okay, so who's king right now in Daniel chapter 7?
There's, isn't
Who?
it? Belshazzar?
Belshazzar, that's right. Yep, it's a little bit tricky here, guys, because we went from Nebuchadnezzar
Yeah.
to Belshazzar to
Darius.
to back to Belshazzar. That's right.
How can we do
It's just not
that?
in order, right? Yeah. So this is one of the reasons Daniel can be confusing, is that the whole book isn't necessarily chronological. It's largely in order, but there are passages like this where we're now back under a previous king's reign. I don't think it's going to be super problematic. There'll be other things to confuse you throughout the rest of this chapter, so don't worry. Let's pick up with verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. So if you're taking notes, make a note in verse 3 about beasts coming up from the sea. This will be relevant a little bit later in the lesson. Yes.
I already have it written down, so I don't know if anyone wants to have this written down. I got this from somebody that was, I can't remember if it was Pastor Shepherd or another preacher that came up, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they said that the great beasts were leaders or something, and the sea
Mm-hmm.
was a giant group of people. So the great beasts came up out of this group of people,
Mm-hmm.
came out of the sea. That's what they told me. I don't know if that's right, but I have it written down. So I don't know.
If they are making that claim, I would assume they are basing it off of Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. It says, And he saith unto me, the waters, talking about the sea here, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. This is dealing with the great whore of Babylon, or Mystery Babylon. As far as how it relates back to these beasts, there could be a possible tie-in. I wouldn't make a claim or stake on that hill necessarily, but I could certainly see where they're coming from, that these beasts coming up from the sea that we see in Revelation, that there are some grounds that could hold weight, that the sea is a reference to waters, which is a reference to people. But I'm not totally for sure on that. Like I said, in verse 3, the key thing I want you to just make a note of, we're not going to expound on it quite yet, but is that there's great beasts coming up from the sea. Moving on to verse 4, it says, The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Alright, so what 2 animals is this kind of a combination of? A lion and an eagle. Very good. And what happens to this eagle lion?
Lifted up from the earth.
It's lifted up from the earth. It's made to stand upon feet as a man. Man's heart was given to it. But it also has its wings plucked. we'll come back to some of these things, but just a couple things to mentally make note of as we're doing a first pass through each of these beasts. Verse 5, and behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. Verse number 6, after this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Okay, so our first beast is a lion eagle. Our second beast is
Okay.
Bear.
a bear. And our third beast is what?
Leopard.
It's a leopard with,
Wings.
that's right, 4 wings of a fowl. It also had what?
4 heads.
4 heads. So it's got 4 wings, it's got 4 heads, and notice, and dominion was given to it. Notice that it's not said about the beast in verse 4 or in verse 5, but the beast in verse 6, it specifically says dominion was given to it. Just something to take note of, but we are going to keep pressing on here. This next beast is going to be what the bulk of our study is going to revolve around tonight. Just fair warning. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces. It stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Okay, so I want you to take a note that this beast, it says about a little more than halfway through verse 7, that it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. This will be relevant shortly, but these will be hopeful little hooks for us to kind of come back to. So, we've talked about the first 3 beasts. This 4th beast, who can tell me, what does this one look like?
The Antichrist.
The Antichrist. Okay,
Is it for the 4th beast?
that's right.
Yeah.
This 4th beast, what does it look like?
I put the notes for it was Rome, present or future.
Is Rome, present or future? Okay. Well, we saw the other 3
The
described
other note
as...
that I have, it ties into 8, but we haven't read 8 yet, so I don't want to say it.
Yeah. The first 3, they all look like animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does this one look like?
Human-like maybe, because it didn't specify that it had any animal characteristics.
Iron.
It had great iron teeth.
And 10 horns.
It's got 10 horns.
And that's all it said.
Ugly.
It didn't say anything about any animal characteristics.
The closest thing we have is that little note I gave you, that it was diverse
Mm-hmm.
from all the beasts that were before it.
Oh,
So
so it's like everything from all of them.
You guys are very good.
Ooh, okay.
The Andrews chimed in and said, a nightmare. Yeah, agreed.
I agree.
Yeah, that is exactly what the
Totally
4th
correct.
beast looks like. Yes. All right, well, now that we have a little bit of an idea of what this beast looks like, we'll get into another description given in Scripture shortly, but just know it's diverse, or it's a collection, if you would, a mixture of the beasts that went before it.
I said has things from all previous beasts.
Da, da, da. All right, take a look with me at verse number 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. Okay, how many horns do we have?
10.
We have 10,
This would be
And
11.
another little one.
and we, so what I'm going to say is we've got 10 and
1.
a little horn.
Yeah, so 11.
I'm going to just specifically call it that because the math here might be confusing. It's like a word problem. So we have 10 horns, and now there's a little horn that comes up alongside it. So we have 10 plus a little horn. Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Now how many horns do we have?
Oh, whatever 11 minus 3 is.
8.
There we go.
We had 10 and a little horn, minus 7, so we have, or minus 3, so we have 7 and the little horn.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, there's 8 total horns. Those of you guys that are math whizzes here. Alright, so there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. So, is this beginning to sound a little bit more like what we were talking about just a minute ago? The Antichrist. Yes. We're starting to get more of these human characteristics. What was it, though, of the beast that's described to be like that?
Mouth speaking great things and eyes like a man.
And he had teeth.
Yeah.
So, think about this. We have this picture of this fourth beast, right? And it's kind of all these other beasts put together almost. And it has, 10 horns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then an 11th one comes up, and it takes out 3 of them when it comes up. Out of this whole monstrosity, what is it that has this mouth speaking great things and has eyes like the eyes of a man? Is it its feet that have these qualities? Does the tail have these qualities? Does the wings have these qualities?
These his eyes, right? The eyes of the horn. It says,
More.
in this horn were eyes.
In this horn.
Right.
So it's, which horn has those eyes of a man and the mouth speaking great things?
The little one.
The little horn. Very good. Okay. It might feel like I'm really belaboring the issue here, but it's going to be relevant as we start to take a dive over into Revelation and start breaking open what the Bible says about the topic of these horns. All right. Take a look at Daniel 7:17 with me. We're actually going to jump ahead a little bit, but just for a beat. It says, "These great beasts which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth." Okay. Again. These great beasts, so the 4 beasts that we were just talking about, which are 4 what?
Kings.
Kings, which shall arise out of the earth. So in that last little piece, after it says our 4 kings, what does those last little group of words tell us about those kings?
They'll come out of the earth.
They'll come out of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
specifically, which shall arise out of the earth. What does that tell you guys?
Forthcoming.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
That's right. They haven't come yet, right? This is the future that we're dealing with. These 4 beasts, these 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. All right. Who here remembers the statue from earlier in Daniel? Okay. So, how many parts were there to the statue?
I don't remember all of them. I remember it was gold.
There's gold, silver,
Brass.
brass,
And I remember the
Fire,
clay. I remember the clay and the iron.
clay, and then
The iron was
mixed with
in.
clay. Yep. Okay. So, out of those pieces, we know that they were all tied to nations or kingdoms, if you would. The first one was what? What was the gold?
Babylon.
Babylon. What follows Babylon?
Was it Rome?
Wasn't it Persia?
That's right. It's Persia or Medo-Persia.
Yeah.
Yep. After Medo-Persia, what do we have?
Greece.
That's right.
It's like I'm cheating ahead, I would say that. So it's like a lot easier.
And the last one we're looking for,
Is it Rome or?
it is Rome.
Okay.
Yep, so we've got Babylon, we've got Medo-Persia, yep, the Andrews chimed in, Greece, there's, am I missing one here?
Yeah.
Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, yep,
Well,
yes.
isn't there a fifth one?
The fifth one is a,
To come. Still to
it is a to come,
Yeah.
but it's a resurrection, more or less, a resurgence of the fourth one, of Rome.
Yeah. Because Rome,
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Rome never technically fell, it still exists.
Right. Okay. So, looking at these four beasts, who are we dealing with then?
I have a clue for two of them that I think, but I don't remember the one for Persia.
So, following
Unless it was, well, I'll tell you my guess and never.
following the example that we see from the statue, who do you think these four beasts line up with?
Those kingdoms.
Which one specifically? Because there was 5 kingdoms essentially,
Oh,
and there's
Well,
4
the
beasts.
mixture has to be the last one coming up.
well, the lion is Babylon, right?
Okay. So the lion's Babylon.
Right.
What else do you guys think?
I used to know this, but
I
I
don't want to keep saying it until I have to. I just
The
didn't-
bear is Greece.
The bear is Greece.
I don't know, no, honestly, yes, I got it.
It's okay. So we've got the bear as Greece.
The leopard is Rome.
The leopard is Rome.
I'm gonna get my guess after y'all get my guess.
Anybody else want to take a shot at it?
I think the lion is Babylon.
Okay.
I think the bear is Persia.
Mm-hmm.
I think the leopard is Greece. And I think Rome is the one with the horns, the little horn.
The
Yes.
fourth beast?
Yes.
I think Rome is the little horn as well.
Okay.
I'm throwing in my vote.
Okay. There's one problem with this, and we get it from verse 17.
Shall.
You already guessed. So what does that mean for us?
Well, you said Rome was coming back.
These great beasts, which are 4 kings which shall, which means it's what? Future. Arise out of the earth. What's the problem here then?
Well, when he had this prophecy, wouldn't it have been in the past for us, but for him it would have been the present. So Greece, which would have been, if I remember correctly, was Alexander the Great, hadn't happened yet. So it would still be something to come.
Right.
So
Since it's still,
The only
well,
one-
he's under Belshazzar right now,
right,
which is who?
Babylon.
Babylon.
Right.
So if it's future, then our first beast can't be Babylon. Because he's still seeing things to come, the future here. Do you guys see that?
You know, Persia
I do.
and then Babylon?
Okay. I'm saying Babylon's still one of those things that keeps resurging over and over again.
Yes, and
So
we'll
that's
talk
why-
about
That's why,
Babylon being a kind of recurring.
right. Whereas like the other ones aren't really resurging the same way.
Right.
At least not yet.
Yes. So in this
I know
case,
what it is.
Say it, Ashley. You found your notes. Say it.
The
I was looking all through mine.
The lion is England, the bear is Russia, leopard is the U.S., and the fourth beast is Antichrist. Is all I have here.
okay, so
Is that right?
we will get there.
Oh.
We will get there, but
I thought we
we're
found
talking
it.
about, we are talking about the, because they are kind of twofold here, but as far as the immediate context of Daniel that we're talking about, they do line up with the previous vision that, or the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had that Daniel interpreted, where Medo-Persia is the lion, Greece is the bear, and Rome is the leopard here, with the fourth beast being that of the Antichrist or the resurgence of Rome,
Okay,
if
can
you
you
would.
say it in order again, please? Because we didn't know you were going to say it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Okay. So The first beast lines up with Medo-Persia,
Can you spell that, please?
Medo dash Persia.
And that's the lion/eagle.
That's the first beast. The second beast, or the bear, lines up with Greece. And the third beast lines up with Rome, that being the leopard. And with the final beast being the Antichrist, or the resurgence of Rome.
Wait, the fourth one's what?
The fourth one is the Antichrist's kingdom, and it's the resurgence of Rome.
What is that?
That's
Rome
the
Part 2.
right. All right. So, for those of you that are prepared, I'll say, where else does the Bible talk about horns the way that it does here in Daniel?
Revelations.
In Revelation, okay.
7 and 13.
Revelation 7
And 13
and 13.
is what I have written down.
There's a chapter besides 13 that I'm looking for that's not 7.
19,
19.
21,
Mm-mm.
1.
It's after 13. It's after 13.
It's right before 13.
12.
12, that's it. Great guess, great guess. All right, let's go take a look. We're going to start with Revelation 12 and look at verse number 3.
You know what would have really helped? If we would have just brought our notes from the book of Revelation.
They probably would have been helpful tonight.
Wow. Because we cross-referenced Daniel 7 and all
Yeah, we did.
Well, now we're going to study it from the other end of the...
I know.
Yeah.
You said
The other end of the-
Revelation 12.
I have Daniel written all
12,
over.
verse number
Literally everywhere.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
3.
It's cool.
All right. Isaac, do you mind reading that one for us? Revelation 12, verse number 3.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Okay. Who remembers all the fun that we had talking about this? All right. So, how many heads are there?
7.
7 heads. How many horns are there? 10 horns. And how many crowns upon the heads? 7. All right, so what are our numbers here? 7, 10, and 7. Very good. Okay. How many horns did the fourth beast have in Daniel?
10.
It also has 10.
And the little one.
And the little horn, that's right. So, we see some relationship here, right? But we'll see if it's quite the exact match. Turn with me over to Revelation 13, verse number 1. Reads, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy." Okay. What are our numbers here, friends?
7, 10.
7, 10,
Wait. Yeah, 7. 7, 10, 10.
7, 10, and 10. 7 heads, 10 horns, and 10 crowns. Very good. All right. So, we see this beast doing what? Yeah, that's right. Rising up out of the seas. It's okay. I saw what you were getting at. Yep. So back in Daniel, in chapter 7, what did we see the beasts doing? Right, coming up out of the sea, yes.
Mhm.
So we see this correlation here. If you look back at Revelation chapter 12, it's a different story, right? Verse 3 says, "And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon," and it goes on for the heads, horns, and crowns. So this is one of the first major differences that we see between these things, is that the beasts of Daniel come up out of the sea. The great red dragon, however, appears as another wonder in heaven. So it's not the same. What are some other differences between the dragon of chapter 12 and the beast of chapter 13?
That it has crowns on its heads versus crowns on its horns.
Very good. That's right. The dragon has crowns on its heads. The beast has crowns on its horns. What else?
The one in chapter 13 said it rose up out of the sea, whereas chapter 12 said it was found in heaven. Or I don't know, we just went over that.
Yep, we did just talk about that.
Sorry.
But
Back
no,
on.
that's good. So kind of their little introduction point is different. One has crowns on its head, the other one has crowns on its horns. And then there's one other difference that I'm looking for here.
Is it about the blasphemy?
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. In chapter 13, the beast has on the heads the name of blasphemy, where the dragon doesn't mention that. Then there's one more, I suppose, difference that we're looking for here. What were the numbers for these guys?
7, 10, 7, 7, 10, 10.
That's right. And the difference being in the number of
Crowns.
crowns. Okay, very good. So the starting point is different for the dragon and the beast. They have a different number of crowns. And the dragon has the crowns on the heads. The beast has the crowns on the horns. Andrew said, and the beast is empowered by the dragon. Very good. Very, very good, guys. We haven't quite gotten down there yet. That's all the way down to verse 2 of chapter 13.
Yeah.
But you are exactly right, that the dragon does empower him.
Yeah, and then you also get the 3 and all the other stuff in there.
All right. I'm going to do my best Pastor Kim impression here and actually do a little bit of drawing for you guys, just because I think, I know, it's not going to be pretty. I will do my best to make it helpful here.
Yeah,
But I do think,
it's a mess at the end.
yeah, mine will be a little bit simpler than his, but I do think it's really helpful for demonstrating what we're talking about, having the visual aid here. Let me grab a little marker. I'm going to have to hold this up while I go here. But this is going to be a drawing of the beast, not the dragon, okay? So just keep that in mind. This will be the beast. I'm going to just draw this.
The beast is in 12 and dragon is in 13.
Beast?
Right, other way around.
Yeah, the other way around.
Dragon 12, beast 13.
Dragon in 12, beast 13. Oh yeah, I have it right here.
Move this over just a little bit. Okay, so for starters here, guys, can everybody read the letters in here?
Yeah.
More or less. So we've got B, E, A, B, M, P, G, and R. Anybody want to take a guess what these letters refer to?
Can you give us a hint?
Medo-Persia,
Okay, yeah. Babylon.
Country.
Babylon,
Ethiopia.
I almost said euphoria.
Egypt.
That's because
Egypt.
you.
Yeah.
Yep, Babylon, or Babel, Egypt,
Syria,
Assyria,
Oh,
Babylon.
Babylon,
Medo-Persia,
Medo-Persia,
Greece.
Greece,
and Rome. Very good. Okay. These are the 7 heads. Okay? Sir.
What? Okay. Sorry.
What?
Sorry.
Okay. I'm doing my best to take it slow, but these are the heads of the beast. Okay?
Okay, can you just say them out loud?
Yes, I will say them out loud. So the first head is Babel.
Oh, Babel.
The next one is Egypt. The next one is Assyria. The next one is Babylon, followed by Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. All right.
And that's the 7 heads of the
Beast.
beast.
Of the beast.
Wait, after Greece is Rome.
After Greece is Rome, that's correct. All right. Maybe this will be more helpful to you.
That's beautiful.
There you go.
The world's most
So here's the beast with its heads.
That's
Uh-huh,
awesome.
uh-huh.
the world's most deadly amoeba.
The cutest freaking thing
He
ever. I'd
is.
friend it.
I would.
I would.
I would.
I would steer very clear. Okay. So, we know that it has how many heads? 7 heads, right? That's what the text tells us in Revelation 13:1. Having 7 heads. All right, what's the next thing we find out about it?
And it has
What does it have?
10 horns.
10 horns. All right, let me get the horns on there for you. All right, so does that look about right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
10 horns?
Oh, I didn't count the horns.
That's only 7.
That's right. That's only 7 horns. And
So
how
where are you
many?
going to put the other 3 at?
Where?
The way they come into kingdom.
So we are missing 3 horns. Who did we talk about as those first 3 beasts back in Daniel?
Oh.
Those first 3 beasts.
Babylon, Greece, and Persia and Rome.
Greece.
It was Medo-Persia,
Mhm.
Greece, and Rome. And actually, remember the nations that you brought up that we hadn't quite gotten to? What were those 3 nations?
Oh.
One of them was the
Russia.
USA, Russia, something.
China.
US, Russia, I forget the other one.
England is the last one.
England!
So,
You can't leave it out.
yeah. To fill in our last 3 horns, we're going to put them on the last 3 heads of the beast.
Can I attempt to draw that?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a pencil? Not a pen.
Afraid we do not.
Last 3 heads of the beast.
Yes. So those last 3 heads now have 2 horns apiece. Everybody following so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I look too big.
All right. Now, what does it say about how many crowns this beast has?
10 crowns.
10 crowns, and where are those crowns? On the horns. All right. So, I'm going to just give these little
Circus.
Yeah, halos for simplicity's sake here. All right, so 7 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns. Do you guys remember what was different about this setup from the dragon?
It had different numbers.
Different numbers, that's right. It had 7 heads,
Excuse me.
it had 10 horns, but it had a different number of crowns, right?
7 crowns
7.
And where are the crowns placed for the dragon?
on the head.
On the head, that's right. So the beast, the horns have the crown. On the dragon, the heads have the crown.
Hold on. I had to go fix something, so hold on.
Okay,
Okay, say the last part again.
okay. The beast
Mm-hmm.
has the crowns on the horns.
Beast. The crowns on one.
The dragon has the crowns on the heads.
This isn't difficult at all.
Like I said, the fact that we're back under the reign of Belshazzar will be the least of your problems. this time. Okay. So, hopefully you guys have been following along so far. I know we've covered a lot and haven't really gotten to breaking a whole lot down yet. We just have a little bit of kind of a visual aid here so far. So now we've kind of summed up what's on paper here and matched it with what's in the verses. Let's talk about what these components are. So the heads, what are these?
Countries.
They're countries,
Kings, right?
Kingdoms.
So-
kingdoms. Bingo. This is the kingdom of Babel, kingdom of Egypt, Assyria, etc., etc. So the heads are what? Kingdoms. Which means that the beast has the crowns, or not the beast, the dragon has the crowns on what? They're on the heads. And those heads are
Kingdoms?
kingdoms. Bingo. So the crowns are on the kingdoms for the dragon.
Okay, hold on.
Are you going to draw the dragon too?
I won't. What I can do is I can move the crowns
Yeah, I guess
down to
we
the
just make
heads
it
at
note
one
of it.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you spell 2 words for me, please?
Sure.
Babel and Assyria?
Babel.
I didn't know if it was L-E or U.
And Assyria is Assyria.
Okay, really fast. You
Yes.
said the dragon had the crowns on the kingdom.
The heads.
The heads. That's right. And the heads.
are the kingdoms.
That's right.
Okay, that's where I wrote that. Okay.
Okay.
But the beast has it on the horns,
On the horns, right.
which is what you have drawn right there.
Yep, this is the beast.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the dragon.
Beast.
Has the crowns on the horns.
Mm-hmm.
Got
All right. Any immediate questions so far? Are we still tracking?
I'm still trying.
Okay. Now, we haven't talked about what the horns are. This is where the little horn gives us a clue.
Oh, where's the little horn?
So you remember back in Daniel, there's a little horn, and how was the little horn described?
He has the mouth.
He's got a mouth,
The eyes.
he's got eyes. That's right.
And he speaks great truths or whatever.
Great thing.
He's the false
That.
prophet. He's the false prophet. Is he?
That is a good guess. He is, in fact, the Antichrist.
Okay.
Yeah,
He is the Antichrist.
he is the
The
Antichrist.
little one is
He's
in.
a little horn, though, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So what does that tell us then about what these horns are?
Can you repeat the question?
So are the horns the kings?
That's what that's about to
Yeah.
say, and they would have to be representing the kingdom.
The kings of said kingdoms? Where are you?
It depends on the context. Okay, so the horns
Yes.
are kings. That's what they represent.
Of what? King of what? The king of what?
So in the case of the beast, they will be 10 kings during the reign of the Antichrist.
Oh, okay.
In the context of the dragon, these horns are representative of the kingdom that they're attached to.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. So the beast, which is what is drawn on your board,
Yes,
the
beast.
horns represent the kings that will reign during the Antichrist.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
But-
talk more about them shortly.
And then, as the dragon,
Mm-hmm.
you said it was what again?
The kingdoms.
The kingdoms. Okay.
The horns are the, wait,
The horns are kings.
or can,
The heads are kingdoms.
And for the dragon, the horns are kingdoms.
The horns are still kings for the dragon,
Ah,
but for the beast, these kings are all kings. It's 10 kings that will rule during the time of the Antichrist.
right.
So horns represent, horns equal kings
Yes.
for beast.
Flat,
Across
point
the
blank, horns equal kings.
For both.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Now, the identity of those kings is different for
Right.
the two.
So for, okay.
So for the beast, those kings are 10 kings during the Antichrist's rule and reign.
Okay, what about the dragon?
Great question. For the dragon, we look back to these heads, and that's how we figure out who those 10 horns are. So, for the first 7, they would be. Who do you think it would be for Babel? Who's that king that's associated with Babel?
I gotta find these.
Mr. Nimrod.
Nimrod. Very
Okay,
good.
hold on, I'm gonna get a whole new page for this.
I need to
As
find
y'all
my
can
notes,
see,
because it's making me
the
crazy.
teacher's coming out and her, she
Yeah,
needs- she
yeah.
needs them.
I'm running out of room.
Yes.
So, flipping over to the back, we are getting ready to go straight up. This is for the dragon, correct?
Correct. We are talking about the dragon right now.
Dragon. Okay.
This drawing is still the beast. Please don't be confused, but we are talking about the dragon.
B E A B N P G R.
Those are the same for both dragon and Antichrist.
But as the dragon, these are the kings of the place.
The associated heads, right.
Okay.
Okay. So we've already gotten Nimrod is the horn on the B. So far, so good, guys?
Mhm.
Okay. Who's the king for E?
I'm gonna
Egypt.
So,
Egypt.
I'm just gonna guess Ramses because it sounds cool.
A
Ramses.
pharaoh.
I know it's
Pharaoh.
a pharaoh, and I don't know which one.
Yes,
I have no
Pharaoh. It would be the Pharaoh that they dealt with
Yeah.
during
So it's
Exodus.
just pharaoh.
Yeah. I don't.
Yes.
I don't
Is
remember his name.
Is that PHARO?
Yes.
Who was the pharaoh during Exodus? Was it? It wasn't.
I don't know his name right offhand.
Me neither. I would Google it, but I have no service.
And that's not all. I spelled it wrong. And now it's
I don't know why Ramses II popped into my head. I don't think that's right, but
PHARAOH.
All right. For our next one, Assyria. I would be impressed if anybody knows this one offhand. I wouldn't have known this one right off the cuff.
I don't know Assyria. I might know the Persia, but I don't know Assyria.
I used to have all of them.
What does it start with?
Starts with an S.
An S?
Severus Snape.
It's a really long name.
It is.
And I used to have it.
Yeah.
Sardinius.
Oh, I'm so
Sir Faticus the Great.
Not quite.
Come on, Andrew, set this out.
For real. The Andrews always be popping up with answers.
They do.
They're smart.
They be knowing.
David, come on. I'm waiting.
All
I have
right.
it pulled up, so I
Who's
will
the
know
king?
the answer.
Who's the king for Assyria?
No earthly idea. Sack something. That's
Yeah,
right. Yes.
sack something. They got it the closest here. It is Sennacherib.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know I knew it back
I
then.
know.
I'm so mad right now. I'm like,
Can you, do you have that written down?
I do, yes.
Please tell me how to spell that.
All right. It is SENN,
N.
two N's, SENNACHERIB. Sennacherib.
I'm gonna say snack rib.
The Sennacherib is back at McDonald's. All right.
In parentheses, I'm gonna put snack rib. That's how you pronounce it.
Snackers.
Snack rib.
I'm still trying to find the name of Pharaoh.
All right. Our next kingdom here is
Babylon.
Babylon. Who's
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar? Very good.
Can you spell that?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
NEBUCHADNEZZAR. Nebuchadnezzar. All right. Medo-Persia.
Isn't it Xerxes?
What is this talking about?
It's two people that are talked about in Daniel, one of which
Darius.
No, yeah, Darius.
Darius, and the other one is Cyrus.
Cyrus.
I don't have my book open to Daniel right now, but I want to say at the end of chapter 6,
I have it. It's open here.
it talks about David or
So
Daniel
this
prospering.
Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian.
Very good. So it would have been one of those two that would be the king associated with Medo-Persia. What about for Greece?
Isn't that Mr. Alexander?
Alexander the Great, that's right. And for our last one,
Caesar.
Caesar,
Not so
specifically Augustus,
Yeah.
is who I have for Rome.
Is there another Caesar besides Augustus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like the reigning
So
title.
is that
Yeah.
Julius?
All the Roman people were considered to be the Caesar.
Yeah, it's Orange Julius, that's who it was.
How do you spell Augustus?
AU,
Like August.
Augustus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Caesar is S-E-A-S-E, whoa.
S
S-E,
That's how-
I know, S-E-A-S-A-R?
C
Isn't
A
it
E S A L.
C-A-E-S-A-R?
I think it depends on whoever you ask.
I think it's
Some people
C-A-E-S-A-R.
Some people C-A.
Because it's pronounced Kaiser or something like that. It's not technically pronounced Caesar or something like that.
Oh, really?
I think so.
S-A-E-S-A-R.
Yeah.
I thought Kaiser was C-A-S.
I just wrote it
I
down.
was-
Well, maybe Kaiser, but it's like Kazor or something like that. But it's,
Oh.
I'm not a Roman scholar.
I don't
All right,
know either.
guys.
S-A-R.
Let's reel it in a little bit here. So, remember our differences here between the beast and the dragon? One of the big ones was where the crowns are.
Mhm.
Turn with me, if you guys would, to Revelation 17, and we're going to look at verses 12 and 13. Revelation 17,
Just saw cats.
we're going to look at 12 and 13. It says,
Mm-hmm.
"And the 10 horns which thou sawest are what?
10 kings.
10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but what do they receive?
The power is.
But receive power as kings." What's another word for power as a king?
Authority.
Authority. Bingo, you guys are very good. All right, so they receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Verse 13, These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Okay, so our picture of the beast, 7 heads, 10 horns, and those 10 horns are 10 kings. And how many crowns are there
10.
for the beast? There's 10.
Sorry, yeah, 10. Oh my gosh.
And where are those crowns for the beast?
On the heads.
On
Oh,
the
no, on the horns.
on the horns. All right. I know it's hard keeping these things straight, but you guys are doing incredible. Got the beast. It's got 7 heads.
For the dragon, you said they have their horns, halos, whatever, on the heads, correct?
That's right.
So if I drew like a little halo above this, would that help? Like, is that what I'm representing?
We're getting there. Yeah. It's okay. I like where your head's at. So, the beast first. We'll get to the dragon right after.
Okay.
The beast, the crowns are on the horns. And what do the crowns represent, do you think?
Kings. Of what though?
Well, the horns represent kings, right?
Yeah.
I guess the crowns represent authority or power.
Bingo.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So,
Is that for both or just beast?
this is for both. The
Okay.
crown. So,
Crowns are synonymously known for like authority, because when you're the king, you're given the crown.
that's right. So, when it comes to the beast, the authority is where?
When it comes to the beast, the
The
authority is.
crowns.
The crowns, yes, but they both the beast and the dragon have crowns, and they have them in different
The
Who is
places.
it given to?
The
Who
authority
does it
belongs.
belong to?
Oh.
Yeah, where's the authority? With
The
the
king.
kings. Yep. Which means what for the dragon?
It
It's
belongs
with the
to-
kingdoms.
It's with the kingdoms.
Okay, you have to say it again. Hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on.
I'm getting it, I'm getting
No,
there.
it is. You're doing great.
Okay, say it again. Say it again.
All right.
What's that last little part for who gets what? Dragon and beast.
The beast, the kings have the authority given to them.
The king.
We know that from Revelation 17:12. Now, for the dragon,
Horns equal kings, crowns equal power. The beast. Crowns, horns, kings, power.
and for the dragon,
Kings.
Kingdoms.
that's right. The kingdoms have the power. Okay. It's tricky, but I think you guys are doing fantastic here. So hopefully what I spill next for you guys will kind of tie a nice bow on our understanding of the dragon and the beast and this picture of heads, horns, and crowns.
This
So,
looks like a freaking birthday cake.
so a quick review here, guys. The beast has 7 heads, 10 horns, and 10 crowns, with the crowns on the horns. So there's 7 kingdoms represented. There's 10 kings, those being the horns, and the kings have the crowns or the authority under the Antichrist. Make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. We look at the dragon. It has 7 heads, which are 7 kingdoms. It also has 10 horns, which represent kings. But those crowns are on the heads, meaning that the kingdoms are where the authority is. All right, so the Antichrist, when does he come on the scene? Is he on the scene right now?
Well,
Was
not
he around during the time of Daniel?
the spirit, but no, not him.
Right. When does the Antichrist rise to power? Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
In the tribulation. Very good. So, this kingdom that we see, pictured by this beast, it's not relevant until when? The Antichrist takes power and his system is in place. Do you guys see that? It's making sense? So everything we just described about the beast relates to the coming tribulation time period. Coming back to the great red dragon, or Satan, from Revelation chapter 12, his has to do with kingdoms and not kings, right? The reason for that is that during history leading up to the tribulation, the way that Satan rules is through kingdoms and not kings. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? Because the authority is with the kingdoms and it's not with the kings itself.
Huh?
Okay.
Sorry, I was finishing writing something down and I missed the very beginning of what you just said.
So we're talking about
Antichrist coming down when this...
We're talking about the application of these beasts, both the beast and the dragon that we've been describing here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the beast comes on the scene during the tribulation.
Right.
And all of what we've been describing will be relevant and pertinent to that time.
Yes.
Now, the dragon, who is Satan, that's what Revelation 12 tells us.
Yes.
His system, because that's what these are pictures of, is a system that rules through kingdoms.
Beneath the heads.
Yes, those 7 heads that we see.
Okay.
Now, there's still kings that are involved. We still see these horns show up on these heads, but the authority comes from kingdoms. When we get into the tribulation, you're going to see that the Antichrist is going to shift that authority from the kingdoms, from it being in the hands of groups of people, all these things, into the hands of 10 kings. And Revelation 17 tells us that those 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings, verse 13 says that they have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So he's going to rule through 10 kings, not kingdoms. So far, so good, guys? Okay. The Andrews chimed in. They said, the same kingdoms the devil showed to Jesus when he is being tempted 40 days in the wilderness. Does that make sense to everyone? That because the devil at the time that Jesus came was ruling through kingdoms, that when he tempted Jesus, and he said, showed him all the kingdoms of this world, well, that's how Satan was ruling, and still is, ruling this world. Make sense? Okay. So, coming back to Daniel, let me check and see how far we made it here. Daniel 7, I think we made it all the way to verse number 8 tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we read it though. Yeah, we did. On 9.
Yep, 9 is what's up next for us, but I am going to land class here. We don't quite have enough time to open up a whole nother can of worms. Does anybody have any questions? I know we talked about an absolute ton. We didn't get to have quite as much discussional time, but it's really important for us to lay this foundation here in Daniel so that as we move through these coming chapters, there's going to be more discussion about horns, and we'll have a better understanding of what that's referring to. But any questions, guys?
I have some questions, but I'll wait till after that's over because it's more in depth than that.
Okay.
Something this book was saying that now I'm having doubts on whether this is accurate or not.
Okay.
Making me kind of...
What's up?
I'm trying to figure out what you were saying a minute ago about when Satan comes during which one of these?
The tribulation.
But during which one? The beast or the dragon?
The beast will be in the tribulation.
Yes.
So the beast equals tribulation. Where am I gonna write that?
Yes, the beast is the system in place for the tribulation. The dragon is the system currently in place that's been in place throughout history.
So the dragon is what is happening right now.
Yes.
This will happen.
An easy way that I look at it is, for me, is when I think of kingdoms, I think of dominions. Like Satan has dominion over certain things, but doesn't
Right.
have total dominion over everything.
Tribution.
That sounded right.
Yeah, sounds
That was very
good
fast.
to me. I know. I was like,
Sorry.
I didn't really
If I don't spell it fast, I'll mess up.
Yeah.
Okay, so beast will happen during tribulation,
Mm-hmm.
or at the start of tribulation. Dragon is happening now and has been happening since the beginning of time.
Not the beginning of time, but since Satan has had rule over this world,
Since Babel.
this is
He got
how
thrown out.
that's the system that he's used.
Since he was
to
cast
rule.
out.
Yeah. Since his first kingdom that he established would have been Babel.
Yes.
With Nimrod and Samaritan and all that
Mhm.
nonsense.
Yes.
And then it's all the same thing replicated all across the world.
Happening now since Satan
Any kind of worldly dominion, you can basically look at it being Satan.
cast
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yep, you can trace it. All right. Do I have anybody that wants to volunteer to close us in prayer? All right, I'll go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Lord, thank you for our evening together. We just thank you for all of our lovely friends who've been able to join us tonight, God, online and in person, Lord. And we thank Ryan, our speaker tonight, for bringing your word to us, God. And hope that it has been a blessing to everyone that has been able to hear your word, Lord, and that you will show us what we need to take along with us this week to help us to grow in you, God. I desire that all of us will have an increase to want to just be closer to you, Lord, and to love on you the way that you love us so, so much. God, I ask for traveling mercies for our friends on the way back home, and for all of us to have your peace as we sleep tonight. In your name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.